Best car, SUV, or truck? Guess what? You're in luck. Frontier Motors is down the street. Got the best deals that can't be beat. Don't overpay, come in today. Doing business the old-fashioned way. Frontier, we've got the right price. Frontier, we'll treat you mighty nice. Frontier Motors, low overhead country.
Hello and welcome to the Frontier Motor Show. My name is Iven Streckel, owner of Frontier Motors. And for the next half hour, we're going to be talking cars. And by the way, we are taping this in Downtown Pensacola at the beautiful Cowork Annex. And it's a new venue for us. And we have been doing this blab show for going on 23 years. So it's been quite a long time. So we have a refreshing face. And for some of you who have been watching our show for years and years. And what this show is all about is the car business, not just about Frontier Motors and why you should buy a car from Frontier when you're in the market, but also advice. And I think that's the biggest thing that we can give customers, that when they are in the market, that they can sit down with one of our managers or myself or our sales reps and get our opinion based on how long we've been in the industry of which car is a good car, bad car. If you're going to be buying a new car, maybe what you should be paying for that new car. We have the new car cost guides available to us at the dealerships that I subscribe to, which gives me the current invoice of any new car out there. Of course, if you know what a dealer paid for a car, it might help you get a little bit better deal. The other thing we do also for you is to give you a free appraisal. So if you are going to be buying a brand new car or maybe even a used car from your neighbor or anywhere from another car dealer, stop by, give us 15 minutes of your time, and we will tell you what your car is worth to us as far as us just writing a check for. I've had people already just come in, sell us the car, and then go to the new car dealer and buy a brand new car so they don't have what they considered kind of a hassle. Sometimes it's a hassle when you have a trade-in. Of course, at Frontier Motors, we always urge you to trade a car as long as you get a fair value. But again, we will give you an opinion. And isn't it nice to have a second opinion on what your car is worth if you're going to be buying a brand new car so they don't take advantage of you and give you a low appraisal? And people always wonder, well, why would a car dealership give me a low appraisal? Well, number one, because they want to make a bunch of money on that used car. That's one reason why you might get a low appraisal. Number two, maybe they don't like your car. Maybe they just have had bad luck with your car. Number three, maybe they don't have the money to buy your car, so they'll take it in trade, but they're going to sell it to another dealer or a wholesaler. All kinds of reasons. Maybe they're over inventoried. In other words, I had this happen years ago with a Lexus, where we bought a Lexus from a customer. He was buying a brand new Lexus, but we ended up buying his trade-in because they got a really low appraisal. And they told him the reason they were getting him a low appraisal because they had 13 cars like his on their used car lot, and almost half of those were already aged inventory. So they needed his car like a hole in the head. So they gave him a really low appraisal, and that's where I ended up with the car. So these are some of the reasons that you would stop at Frontier Motors. The other thing that we do is we help people make sure that they don't get taken advantage of when they get in a car accident. And what I mean by that is if you get in a car accident and your car is totaled, what's the first thing you do? Of course, you call, well, number one, hopefully you're going to be okay. Number two, you call your insurance company and say, hey, my car, the body shop said, hey, they're going to total this car out. And the next question is, how much will you give me for it? Well, before you settle, you call Frontier Motors and we will give you an appraisal in writing and we'll sign it. And that will help you make sure that the insurance company treats you fairly. I'm not saying the insurance company is going to rip you off, but some of these insurance companies lately have been giving low values because they're going to what they're called comps. In other words, they're giving comparables, and they'll find some cars out there in the marketplace that are quite a bit less than what the book value says of the car, but yet I can find comps that are quite a bit higher. So I just want to make sure you get the right value. We do this at no charge. The other thing that happens, what if you get in a major accident? It wasn't your fault. Somebody runs a red light, they cream you, your car's got $15,000 damage, but it's a $30,000 car, so they don't total it. They're going to take it to the body shop and they're going to fix it. But the history report, which is the Carfax or the auto check, is going to say major damage reported, airbag is deployed, vehicle had to be towed from the scene, and that is going to be with that car for life in the history report. What does that do with the value of your car when you get time to trade it or to sell at a marketplace? Well, I know from experience that when I have a car on the lot, which I don't buy these cars, but we do take them in trade, when I have a car on the lot that has a major accident, there's only one way I'm going to sell it. It's going to have to pass inspection. And it better be a good deal. Because if you can buy a car without an accident for the same dollar amount, you're not going to buy it from us or from any dealer for them. So what we do is we give you a letter of what we call diminished value. Your car is going to have diminished value if somebody else hits you. Now, a lot of insurance companies are paying customers now for diminished value. They never used to 15 years ago when they didn't have Carfax, because nobody knew the car was in an accident. So they never got diminished value. Nobody even knew it. But now everybody knows it. It's common knowledge. The police report or the body shop report is going to go, or the insurance report is going to go on the history report, which means you're going to get creamed if it shows major accident reported. So what we want to do is give you a letter that says, hey, this car, we had one the other day. I gave a customer a letter for $5,000 of diminished value because their car, in my mind, is worth $5,000 less because it had a major accident and it was recent and it was a very expensive car. That makes it even worse. If you're driving a $70,000 Corvette and you have $50,000 of damage and they don't total a car, guess what? That car might have as much as a $10,000 diminished value. Well, who would put it in writing? So you can go to the insurance company? Frontier Motors will, at no charge. Now, why do we do this? Why do we give free advice? Why do we tell you on the air that if you're in the market to buy a car, you can come in and ask us any question pertaining to the transaction? How to do a bill of sale, how to make sure that you don't get ripped off with the money transaction, how to get a fair value for your car, we'll do a free history report. You know, Carfax costs $40 plus tax. We'll do it for free for you on any car that you want. We'll also do the auto check, which is the second largest provider of history reports. We'll do all this stuff for free. Why do we do it for free? Because we want to tell you that there's a dealer out there that's not here just to grab your wallet. Of course, if you're going to replace the car, we would like you to look at one of our cars. And being one of the largest dealers in the South, having over 400 cars in inventory, we might just have something that you're looking for. So if you've totaled, for example, if you just totaled a 2018 Lincoln Navigator and it's totaled, well, we happen to have one on the lot with low miles on it that you can buy right from us as a replacement. Or at least use ours as a replacement comp as far as the dollar amount is concerned. Now, it really helps us when we help people. Matter of fact, I bring a Dave Ramsey ad with me. Dave Ramsey is, if you don't know, he's the money guru. And Dave Ramsey called us, this was over a decade ago, and said, hey, I would like to do a commercial because I will do a commercial for one independent dealer in Pensacola, and they've chosen Frontier Motors. We didn't call up Dave Ramsey and say, hey, will you do an ad for us? He called us up and said, hey, you got the reputation, you've got Google reviews, you've got a good, better business report, we can see what you're doing, and we talk to customers, and we're going to choose you. And this is what he has to say about what we do at Frontier Motors.
Hey, Dave Ramsey here. Listen, there is a reason why car dealerships have such a bad reputation. They make it incredibly difficult to buy a pre-owned vehicle. But there's always the exception. In Pensacola, Florida, it's my friends at Frontier Motors. They've been serving the Pensacola community for 22 years. People hate being pressured when they buy a car, and I tell you that won't happen at Frontier Motors. They'll give you a total out-the-door price, and they'll put it in writing. Frontier also offers a free car advice service for the Pensacola community. So if you're ready to sell the car, call Frontier Motors for a fair price analysis and a free Carfax report. They love buying from private individuals. Or if your car got totaled, Frontier Motors will tell you what the replacement cost should be. To check out their inventory or see all the free services they provide, visit FrontierMotorsInc.com. That's FrontierMotorsInc.com. And don't forget to tell them Dave Ramsey sent you.
Dave does a really good job saying in 60 seconds what takes me, well, I have trouble putting in half an hour. I could have 2 hours and not touch on everything that he's talking about. One of the things he talked about is that we do buy cars from private individuals. I know a lot of dealerships advertise this. We will buy your cars whether you buy a car from us or not. The problem that a lot of the dealerships have, especially the new car dealerships, is they have a buyer. And a lot of the problem is that the buyer, a lot of times, is not at the dealership. We have a buyer at the dealership when we're open every single hour that we're open. That we advertise that we can give you a buy figure within 15 minutes. The only time that might not happen is if you have an older car with a lot of miles on it, that would have to get inspected first. But if you've got an average car, let's say it's 4 years old, it's got 60,000 miles on it, I can give you a buy figure within 15 minutes. And of course, if you've got a newer car, I can do it over the phone. If you're driving a 2018 model car with 8,000 miles on it, you don't even have to stop in. Just give me the ID number. I can run all the information over the phone and give you a buy figure right over the phone. And this is going to be very helpful if you decide to replace that car. Or maybe you're doing the Dave Ramsey thing where you're downsizing from a 3-car family to 2, or maybe a 2-car family down to 1, and you don't want to have people come over to your house, especially after hours. And now that the days are getting shorter and shorter, you're going to blink and it's going to be dark out at 5 o'clock. And if that's the case and somebody's coming over at 6, it's going to be pitch black out. They're going to want to test drive your car. They're going to want to negotiate, and it's not something you should do by having people come over to your house. So why not use us? If we don't write you a check for the car, which we normally will, we can do a consignment. The nice thing about consignment is we'll normally pay you a little bit more than clean wholesale because we don't pay you until it's sold. We do free consignments. When I say free, we don't charge a commission, we don't charge a percentage, we don't charge a fee. Some dealerships do a consignment, but they charge $250 a month. Well, if they're getting $250 a month, what's their incentive to sell your car? At Frontier Motors, we will tell you what you will net on the car. So if I tell you you will net $20,000, that means that's what you'll get when I sell the car. Anything over that would be mine. So if I sell for $21,000, I still make $1,000, and you get $20,000. And a lot of times I can take a nice trade-in. There's all kinds of reasons. I'll make another customer. So we do a very good consignment business, and you will be pleasantly surprised on how effortless it is. You drop the car off, we have you sign a couple of things, and away you go. Or we just write you a check and you're done. So we talked about diminished value. We talked about free history reports. We talked about the free appraisals. The other thing I want to touch on a little bit is why you might want to stop in a Frontier Motors if you're in the new car market. Now, the first reason is that I don't sell new cars, but I have new cars on the lot. Now, what does that mean? Well, that means that technically, because we are not a franchise dealer, I can't sell a brand new car. But guess what? I had 2 Lincoln MKZs on the lot the other day, which is their luxury car. One had 10 miles on it. The other one, I think, had 90 miles on it. Now, that's pretty new, isn't it? I can't sell them as new. Matter of fact, one of them we sold the first day I got there. So, the reason you stop at Frontier Motors, if you're looking at a new car, is because we have cars that are like new on the lot. We have over 100 cars on the lot that have less than 10,000 miles on it. Isn't that interesting? Those are the alternative to new. So you want to always find out what the alternative is. And in April's edition, Consumers Reports finally put in writing what I've been talking about for 23 years, and that's depreciation, depreciation, depreciation. They said in 1 year, the average depreciation is 27% on a new car. Isn't that crazy? Let's do the math. If you buy a $100,000 car, which, by the way, if you buy an Escalade, it's $100,000. If you buy a Navigator, it's $100,000. If you buy a diesel pickup truck, it can be $100,000. I know a lot of people are getting sticker shock, including myself. So when I took my bicycle 2 Sundays ago and I went to Car City, and I went to every single car lot, I got sticker shock. Because I know what the base price is on the car, but I did not understand how much equipment you can add to a car to have a base price go from $60,000 to $100,000 just on the model and the equipment you put on a car. Very interesting. And they do that so they can advertise. Well, the new Corvette's a prime example. The 2020 mid-engine Corvette has a list price advertised of $59,995, under $60,000. But if you want an LT3, which gives you the navigation and nicer leather, it's $30,000 more. So it's not a shock. 27% depreciation in the first year. And consumers that's just mind-boggling. So a $100,000 car, if I think I'm doing the math properly, that's $27,000 depreciation in 1 year. Matter of fact, a prime example is the Acura NSX we have on the lot. It's $162,000. I can save you $35,000 over the new one. $35,000, it's got 2,000 miles on it. Isn't that crazy? I know this is an extreme example, but I love using that example. We have a 2018 Expedition Max. If you don't know what that is like the Suburban of Expeditions. A 2018, I've got the window sticker with $67,000. We can sell it for $47,000. $20,000 depreciation. It's a year old. $20,000. It's crazy. Here's a 19 Ram Bighorn. $43,000 window sticker. 2,000 miles on it. I can save you $10,000 by selling it for $33,000. $10,000 on a Ram pickup truck. I talked about the Lincoln MKZ. The one I have left is a burgundy Lincoln MKZ. It has 125 miles on it. It's got a window sticker of $49,000. I can sell it for $35,000, which is $14,000. Folks, it's got 125 miles on it. I can sell it for $14,000 under the window sticker. The biggest example I have, now this is a little bit older, I have a 2016 7 Series BMW. It has only 22,000 miles on it. The window sticker is $115,000. Can you imagine? The gentleman bought this in 2017 for $115,000. I can sell it for $50,000 less than that. It has 22,000 miles on it. The sale price is $55,000. I know that's a lot of money, but it's $55,000 for a car that brand new cost $115,000 4 years ago. A car brand new now is probably $120,000. So when we talk about why stop at Frontier Motors, is because we are the alternative to new. So we're going to tell you, here's what the new one costs, here's what the rebates are, here's what we think you can get for a discount on a new one. So we're not talking about just off the list price, we're talking about even after discounts and incentives. Here's how much we can save you. And then here's what your car's worth, and here's the total out-the-door figure. A lot of people, I've always advertised that we give you an out-the-door figure. Now, why do I think that's important? Because a lot of dealers will quote you a price, and they won't tell you what their fees are. And then you go shop all over the place, it's the best price, you go back, and then they hit you with a $900 dock fee, they hit you with a get-ready fee, they hit you with a tire tax, a battery tax. Some dealers have a get-ready fee, some dealers have an addendum sticker, which I found out, I'm not going to mention the dealer, but 3 dealers that I saw in Car City have an addendum on their new car window sticker, an addendum, and they have that package. Everybody knows what I call it, the rust and dust package. It's kind of funny, but that's a car term that I learned 20 years ago, which, by the way, we don't use car lingo at Frontier Motors, but that means it's got rust proofing, it's got the gloss treatment, it's got the fabric treatment, it's got the undercoating, it has the window etching for security and the pinstriping, and they charge $1,995 over the original window sticker. And that is something that is quoted sometimes afterwards. So we talk about, if you're going to go to a dealership and compare apples to apples, ask them, hey, I want an out-the-door figure, and make sure that they include all the fees, including the license plate fees. Do you know that a brand new license plate on some cars these days can cost as much as $500? Because you got to buy a title, you got to buy the registration, and you got to buy the tag. It can be as much as $500. So if they don't include that and we include that, there could be a $500 difference. So you might want to make sure that they include everything: tag transfer, title, everything. And then you compare it to ours. I can run a new car window sticker on the car that we have and a new car window sticker on the one they have to make sure the equipment is the same. One feature like the safety equipment, for example, can be as much as $2,000. The safety feature would be things like automatic stop, blind spot, lane departure, adaptive cruise control. A lot of people are asking for these things. The cars aren't driving themselves, but they'll stop themselves if you're not paying attention, which is a lot from what I'm seeing. I'm seeing all the diminished value letters that I'm writing to customers are because somebody wasn't paying attention and ran a red light and smashed into them. So you're not paying attention. Wouldn't it be nice that if you're not paying attention, that your car stops automatically? And wouldn't it be nice if I sold the guy behind you a car that stops automatically so they don't ram you? Because your car is going to stop automatically because you bought the safety equipment. But the guy behind you, if he doesn't have it, you're screwed. You're going to get rammed. Now you're going to have another letter of diminished value. We want that stopped. I've got people trading cars in just for the safety equipment alone. It is so great, but it's not free. Toyota's pretty smart. Toyota is putting a lot of the safety features standard on even their less expensive cars. Like the 2018 Corolla has adaptive cruise control. And if you don't know what that is, that means you set your cruise, let's say you're setting it at 70 miles an hour, which nobody goes 70 miles an hour on the expressway, but let's say that you're following the letter of the law and you're doing 70. If the guy in front of you jams on his brakes, because maybe there's a tire that had a blowout, the truck in front of it had a tire blowout, and he jams on his brakes, your car, if it's in cruise control, will automatic jam on the brakes. Kind of a neat feature. Save your life. Saved my life about 10 years ago. I had one of the first adaptive cruise controls on a Jaguar I was driving, and I wasn't paying attention. The guy in front of me hit the brakes and my car stopped automatically. I wasn't texting, but I was looking down, and I would have, if I wouldn't have been dead, I'd have at least been hospitalized. Excellent reason to buy a car. I said it in last month's Blab show that the average age of a car on the road, the average is 11.8 years. Let's just round that off to 12 years. That's the average age of a car in the United States. Isn't that crazy? None of you guys out there with a 12-year-old car have any of these safety features. Maybe you got an airbag, maybe you got anti-lock brakes, and maybe you got anti-skid front end. That's about it. Get a new car and get it with the safety stuff. 2018, they just came out for 2018 Consumer Reports, the most reliable car sold in the United States last year. Been the same car for years and years. It's a Lexus, which by the way is built by Toyota, which by the way is number 2. Mazda's number 3. Did you know that Toyota owns a minority stake of Mazda? Isn't that interesting that Toyota owns a minority stake of Mazda, and Mazda is number 3 for reliability? And did you know that Toyota also owns a minority stake in Subaru, and Subaru is number 4 for reliability? Very interesting. The top 4 brands all have to do with Toyota. I didn't know that until I did some research that Subaru and Mazda it was a joint venture with Toyota. Kia is number 5. I love Kias. 5-year, 60,000 mile warranty. I love Hyundais. 5-year, 60,000 mile warranty. Local dealers. They're sleepers for resale value because a lot of people still think they're crappy little cars, so they don't bring a lot on the used car market. The less that I'm paying for them, the less you pay for them. They're great cars. Consumer Reports proves it. Infiniti, then Audi, BMW, Mini Cooper. Mini Cooper used to be crappy about 5 years ago. They're pretty good. They're way on top. Hyundai, Porsche, Genesis, Acura, Nissan, and down the line. Very interesting. That is reliability. And we also talked about the best brand out there. Last year, the best brand was Genesis. This year, the best brand overall, including safety, reliability, is Subaru. So very, very interesting. So to recap some of the things that we do at Frontier Motors, number 1, 425 cars in inventory. Our salespeople unlock every car. And the reason we unlock every car every morning is so that if you're there on your lunch hour and you only got an hour to shop for cars, we close at 6. So if you work till 6, you pretty much aren't going to buy a car from Frontier Motors unless you come on Saturday. So you come to your lunch hour, every car is unlocked so you can slip behind the wheel. One thing other than the looks of a car that will get you to either not buy it or buy it is how it feels when you're behind the wheel. Because if you're short, for example, and you can't see over the steering wheel, you're not going to buy that car. So you want to sit behind the wheel, or if you're tall and you hit your head on the roof, you're not going to buy that car. So you want to make sure it fits. So we unlock it so you can adjust the seat, you can adjust the steering wheel to see if it fits properly. Then the second thing is a salesman will get the key so you can test drive it, because that's another deal breaker. You either like the way it drives, if it fits you, or you don't like the way it drives. And of course, we'll give you a price list when you come in. We have a price list, a description of every car, the miles on the car, the equipment, and how much the vehicle is. So that's important, which is also, by the way, on our website. And then if you like the car, and of course, the next question that might come out of your mouth as well, is that the best you can do? And our salespeople will go to one of our sales managers, and within minutes, we're going to give you a out-the-door price in writing. That's the best that we can do. We'll include the taxes, the dock fee, the tag transfer, everything's included. So you can shop if you want by taking our out-the-door figure and going to a brand new car dealership or maybe another used car dealer if they have the same type of car. Compare apples to apples. One of the things that really sets us apart from the competition is that we will give you a fair price. I always tell people we're going to make money when we sell you a car, but we're not going to rip you off. And that's all people want. And if our price is not any less than the dealer down the road, There's a reason for it. It's because we have a better car. It's not normally going to be more, but let's say it's not less. It's because when I say better car, what does that mean? Maybe the equipment's the same. Maybe even the color is the same. Maybe even the miles are the same. Then it comes down to condition. When we buy a car at auction, for example, they rate the cars from 0 to 5. 5 being perfect, 0 being a garbage. If the car does not rate over a 4, I don't even look at it. Which means it's going to have to be pretty amazing. No accidents, non-smoker, no chips, no dings, new tires, both keys. Car's going to have to be like new. Some dealers will buy a car rated 2 or 3 because it's $1,000 to $2,000 less. But it's a below average car. I have yet to have anybody that has walked in and said, hey, Ivan, I'd like to save $1,000. Can you sell me a below average car? It doesn't happen. They will say, I will pay a fair price, but I want above average car. I want one, by the way, that's just like brand new, but I want it to be thousands of $1,000s less. And that's what we specialize in. And that's what people are interested in. They don't want a car that's all nicked up and scratched up. I have bought cars off of other dealers' lots. Sometimes when they hit 90 days, some dealers are on a turn, so they'll sell me a car at a discounted price. They bring me the car and I look at that car and I think, I cannot believe this was on the dealer's lot. I had one yesterday. Every seat, they brought me the car to buy. Every seat had burn holes in it. The front tires were pretty much bald. The front bumper has to be painted because there's bug juice all over that won't come off. It's got a small crack in the windshield, and this came from another dealer's lot on the front line. And I can see why they can sell it cheaper. But guess what? After 90 days, nobody bought the car because the car was awful. And that's one of the things I'm talking about. I don't take a car and fix it up. I want a car that the customer took care of that's trading it in to me. And some of the cars I'm buying, like I said, I've got over 100 cars on the lot that have less than 10,000 miles on. So we have the alternative to new. Now, Ryan's telling me we only got a couple of minutes left. So this show that we're videotaping here is going to be on YouTube. So if you're anybody looking for a car, tell them to go Frontier Motors YouTube, and you can pick out numerous shows. That gives you the advice on what you should be doing when you're in the car market. The other thing we talk about is that you can go on Facebook and you can leave comments, messages. We update our inventory on Facebook. We have comments, all the new cars that come out, new inventory that comes in, anything that's really cool that comes in, like the NSX we got the other day was on Facebook. So check us out there and like us. And also our website, just Google Frontier Motors, and we're the first Frontier Motors that pops up. We've got 425 cars last time I looked, and they all have detailed photographs. They all have pricing. Now, if I bought a car yesterday, it'll be on there without a picture and without price, but usually when it hits the lot, we'll price them right off the bat, and we'll take pictures usually within 3 or 4 days of when they hit the lot. So again, we want to buy you a car. We talk about selling cars, but the only way that I can sell 200 to 250 cars every month is what we do, is I've got to buy 200 to 250 cars. So I'd love that if you've got a car that you want to dispose of, give us a chance at the car. Let us write you a check. You cancel insurance and you're done. So that's Frontier Motors. We're 230 Beverly Parkway. If you don't know what that is, it's the place that's got that big 14-foot buffalo out front. We don't have a mausoleum. We keep our overhead as low as possible so that when you come in, we can give you a very fair price on a car that is going to have lower miles, that's going to have more equipment, and that's going to be in better condition than the competition. Again, that's Frontier Motors, 230 Beverly Parkway. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Auf Wiedersehen.
Best deals that can't be beat. Don't overpay. Come in today. Doing business the old-fashioned way. Frontier. We got the right price. Frontier. We'll treat you mighty nice. Frontier Motors. Low overhead.